All right, what's going on, guys? So over like the past couple weeks, we've slowly been getting more and more MW2 leaks as the reveal approaches. And I feel like now we've kind of gotten enough to where it's actually worth talking about. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, I'm not really going to get too much into the Warzone leaks part of it because there is some Warzone 2 information, but I don't really play Warzone, so I'm not really too qualified to judge all of that. But we do have quite a bit of multiplayer information, and as always, these leaks may or may not be completely accurate, but I think at this point, it's usually pretty accurate. Like, they come from the same people every single year. They have a pretty good reputation for being like good information, so I believe we are supposed to get the actual reveal trailer here in like, I don't know, pretty soon. I think like a week or two, but you know, the first trailer doesn't ever really give us like real gameplay or anything. It's just like a little teaser, you know, kind of just to see what the game looks like at the very least, get a little feel for it. That's pretty much all you get. There was a little bit of leaked gameplay. I don't even know if it really is from the game or not, but it was only like 15 seconds and it was filmed on like a fucking Game Boy or something. Like, it was horrible quality. It's not even really worth like talking about too much or breaking down or anything. Like, it really wasn't anything at all. So that being said, I think the biggest and most important leak that we got so far is that the game is going to be remastering some of the original, the actual Modern Warfare 2 maps, you know what I mean, from back in the day. So far, it looks like the list is Terminal, High Rise, Quarry, Favela, and Afghan, and that's a pretty good list, right? For those of us that played MW2, like, that's some pretty solid choices. I mean, if we go down the list, Terminal, of course, was gonna come back. They always bring that map back. And then High Rise and Favela are pretty obvious choices, I would say. Those are some of the best and, you know, fan favorite maps from MW2. And then Afghan and Quarry are kind of interesting, I guess. They're not bad choices or anything, but it is a little bit surprising that they were chosen before Scrapyard and Rust, which I would say are more of like fan favorites and better maps than those two. But, you know, overall, pretty solid choices. I can't really like complain about it, you know, that's fine. However, it wouldn't be Call of Duty if they didn't mess something up along the way. You know, it's always one step forward, two steps back, right? So it seems that even though these maps are most likely going to be in the game, none of them are going to actually be there at launch, which is pretty disappointing, I would say. I think it's a pretty big mistake, actually, because if you remember back in Black Ops 4, they did something very similar, except we had slums, firing range, jungle, and summit, I believe, and we actually got them at launch, and I think that was huge for the game. Like, I really enjoyed having those right away. Honestly, I really think these remastered maps saved the game, because for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into it or try to speculate, but they kind of suck at making maps these days, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not, or whatever the reason is, but they just don't make maps the way they used to anymore. These remastered maps are actually really beneficial because, like, let's think about Cold War. I actually really liked Cold War, and it's pretty much only because I mainly played all of the BO2 and BO1 remastered maps. You know, I think it has like, I don't know, like 10 remastered maps on it now from those two games. They even just added jungle to it not that long ago. Honestly, that kept the game alive for me. I don't know about you guys or whatever, but like, if they didn't have those maps in it, I probably wouldn't have really played too much at all. But, you know, those kind of kept it alive for me, and they spaced them out pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, every like couple months, like, they would drop more and more. Like, you know, it was pretty good. So I'm not saying we need to have like 5 remastered maps right at launch, but man, I think we probably need at least 1 or 2 if it launched, and then on launch weekend they could have maybe like a High Rise 24/7 playlist or something and have High Rise in the game immediately. I think that would be really, really huge for the game, man. It would help a lot. And then after that, you still need to bring the rest in pretty quick, because the problem with Call of Duty currently is it dies kind of quickly, you know what I mean? So you need to get people hooked on it right away, okay? Like, in the first couple weeks to a month or so, it doesn't matter that much how good the game is technically, because the game is new, it's fresh, it's exciting. You know, at the end of the day, we all do enjoy Call of Duty, so we're gonna play it because it's new and we have fun or whatever. But it can get old quick if they don't start adding like content right away, or if there isn't enough content to begin with, or if it's bad, or whatever the reason may be. Like, they got to start adding stuff quickly into the game. Just look at Halo, right? For those of you that played the recent Halo, they actually made a pretty good game. I mean, I was grinding it for a couple months, but like they just didn't support it with enough content. You know what I mean? Like, once you got into like a high Onyx, like there wasn't really much left to play for unless you're like trying to actually like compete or whatever. You know what I mean? They just didn't support it with enough content. They just now released some content for it, like not that long ago, and finally did something. But at this point, like it's kind of too late. You know what I mean? The only people really left like playing it are the hardcore Halo fans. They pretty much lost all the initial like boost of new players that they got from it being like a fresh game. All those people are gone. They're probably not really going to come back. So they messed up with that one by just taking too long to add content into the game. So I like that they're remastering these original MW2 maps. It's a great decision, but they need to make sure that they add them into the game quickly, man, because if they don't add them in until it's like 6 months down the line, like that doesn't really work. You know what I mean? That doesn't help, because I promise you, if it's anything like the original Modern Warfare, it's not gonna have good maps. So like it's not gonna survive 6 months without them adding these maps into the game. So like hopefully they don't wait too long and the game doesn't just die. And it is gonna be a 2-year life cycle. We do have to keep that in mind, and I think that's fine, right? Because there's plenty of maps that they can add in. Just because it's 2 years doesn't mean they gotta like space out the maps. Like, we could get maps every like couple months or whatever. You know what I mean? At the end of the 2 years, we might have every single map from MW2 and maybe even MW3 in the game, and that's fine. Is anyone like complaining about that? Like, I don't think that's an issue. That's great. They're probably never gonna actually fully remaster MW2 or MW3. Like, I think if they were gonna do it, they would have done it by now. You know what I mean? I guess they just don't want to do that. That was a one-time thing that they did. So this is like kind of the next best thing that we can get. You know what I mean? So I'll take it. That's fine. So that, that's pretty much my take on the map situation. Hopefully, they handle it appropriately. A few other things. Pro perks are coming back. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, right? Like, I remember back in the day, some of those challenges were like really annoying, like to the point where it was like just stupid. Like, you didn't even want to do it. It was so annoying. Like, it really like wasn't even fun. I hope they don't have like too like annoying of challenges, but at the same time, like, we might end up with some better perks because of it. You know what I mean? Because once you get it pro, usually it is worth the time that you put into it to get it pro. But I just hope that the challenges aren't like too annoying, because some of the camo challenges and stuff they make these days are like kind of ridiculous, a little bit annoying. You know what I mean? So I hope they don't take that same approach with the perks. We'll see. I'm not really like too sure how it's gonna go, but I'm okay. I think with pro perks coming back, that's fine. Shouldn't really be a big deal. And the next thing, actually, I guess this is probably a pretty big thing, right? So apparently they're going to be taking out the slide cancel, which is interesting. I think there's some divide in the community on this one, maybe depending on, how long you've been playing Call of Duty, you know what I mean? I get it, there is a small skill gap with slide canceling, but at the same time, anyone who's like decent at the game can slide cancel, right? Like, it's not that hard to just click your stick in 2 times and cancel your slide. Like, it's really not a big deal. There is a very small amount of skill involved there, but like, anyone who's decent at the game can do that. You don't have to be like a pro player to learn how to do that. So I get it, but at the same time, like, let's not hype it up too much and pretend that it's like some huge complicated maneuver that, only a select few people can figure out. And also, side note, if it is taken out, it will be saving everyone's controller, because that shit kills your thumbsticks, man. I remember when I actually, was grinding Warzone, when it first came out, my sticks were destroyed from all that like sprinting around and slide canceling and stuff. Like, it actually was crazy. So it can get expensive, replacing the controllers and stuff, that's for sure. So I mean, that is a positive, I think. And then finally, they are going to apparently limit it to 5 attachments only for your gun. I think this is actually really good news, maybe a little underrated, because 10 attachments is just ridiculous, man. Like, it actually is almost confusing to figure out exactly what you should be putting on your gun. They're all like such minor differences. It's 10 attachments, and then there's like actually like 70 different things that you could put on. Like, it's just too much, right? Like, that's way too much. I'm glad that they're cutting that in half to 5. 5 is still a lot, you know what I mean? Back in the day, we only used to get 1 or 2. And also, I think because of the 10 attachments, most guns don't have any recoil these days. So like anyone can shoot straight. Like it's very easy. It doesn't take much skill. So hopefully, if they reduce the attachments, it will take a little bit more skill to shoot your gun, which would be appreciated. So 5 attachments is a pretty good change as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? I don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe, you know, some of the people that are like newer to Call of Duty or like they only play like Warzone, maybe it's a big deal, I don't know. But for multiplayer, you don't need 10 attachments, man. Like that's just getting pretty ridiculous. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover. There might be some other like small leaks or something that I missed, I don't know. Not bad news, I would say, you know what I mean? Like this is all like sounding fairly positive, I would say, pretty good, you know, can't really be too upset about it. But at the same time, you know, you're not finessing me again, you know what I mean? The days are long gone where I have any sort of positive hope or expectations for this game. Prepare for the worst. Hopefully it'll surprise you and actually be better than you think, you know what I mean? That's the way I go into every new COD these days. But yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are not already. Follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Check out my last video. It was a clip from stream where I got this kid to put his mom on the mic, and it was also like a psycho kid as well. I don't know what was going on with that guy, if you guys have never seen a stream or anything like that. But yeah, with that being said, thank you again for watching. Have a good day and peace out.